Having a good media buying strategy makes all the difference between fumbling and successfully launching a dropshipping business on Facebook ads. Media buying refers to the process of spending money on paid ads, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you guys my own custom creative testing strategy and cold interest testing strategy. Now, in order to run ads, you first need to have a business portfolio on Facebook, and then within that business portfolio you want to create an ad account. And then for that ad account, you want to create a pixel each time you start a new dropshipping store. And again, each time you start a new dropshipping store, you'll also want to create its own Facebook page. And make sure that all of these components are linked to each other within the Meta Business Manager. The purpose of a creative testing campaign is to bait out the bad ads and find the ones that are going to bring the cheapest traffic and the highest conversions. Therefore, you should not be expecting to make money during creative testing, because you're simply spending money to find out which ad is the best ad. Now, before you even begin my creative testing strategy, you want to have already made 5 video ads that are in the vertical 1080 by 1920 format. Once on the Facebook Ads Manager, you want to click on the big create button right here, and what that's going to do is create a new campaign. You want to select sales as your campaign objective and then click continue. And then want to scroll down here and select a manual sales campaign. Continue. And then title this sales campaign using the following criteria. So I'm just going to assume I'm selling my last product, which is called the breeze ring. So breeze ring, creative testing, and then you want to put the country in the bracket, and more on that later. And then scroll down, ignore this category. Make sure the buying type is set to auction, campaign objective is set to sales. Make sure user catalog is off. Scroll down and make sure advantage campaign budget is off, because when you turn that on, it turns this into a CBO. And my creative testing campaign is an ABO. ABO stands for Adset Budget Optimization. An Adset Budget Optimization campaign is a campaign where we decide where we want our budget to be allocated, and we decide this at the Adset level. So scroll down, make sure all of this is not checked, and then click on next. And then for the ad set name, you just want to select ad A, type that in, and then scroll down. Performance goal, make sure it's maximized number of conversions, and by that this should be website, of course. And for the pixel, you want to select the pixel you're going to be using for that store. So as I said, you want a pixel for each Shopify store of yours, so you can see all my past pixels here. I'm actually going to have to blur them because it shows the ID, but we'll select breeze ring pixel, and then conversion event, purchase, bro. I don't know how hard I have to stress this. You can watch my old videos to see me mess up making it add to cart, initiate checkout. Leave it as purchase, because we want purchases, plain and simple. Don't try and cut corners. Cost per result goal, leave that blank. What that does is, let's say you put it at $10, so it will spend the budget as slowly as possible to ensure that by the time it's spent $10, you've gotten that sale. Scroll down, you want dynamic creative to be off, and then here budget and schedule, and this is now where we decide the budget for each of these ad sets in the ABO. For my creative testing ABO, we use 5 ad sets at $20 a day with 1 ad in each ad set. So leave that budget at $20, and don't worry, we're not going to spend the full $20, $100 on the first day of running ads. That is not our objective. I will explain that. The point of this is that we'll let the ads run to a specific threshold where we'll now decide on which one is performing the best, as they'll all have spent the same amount of money. Scroll down past this. Don't worry about the start date. I don't really trust the Facebook ad scheduling, as it always fails me. Keep scrolling down. And now audience controls. You want to ignore that real quick. Scroll down and click here, switch to original audience options. Use original audience. And then now let's come back up here, and it's changed. You want to select one country to run your ads in, simply because it's going to be cheaper to run your ads in one country than to run them in the big 5. Big 5 being the USA, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. So just choose one. So I usually test in the USA because that's where all my sales have come from. So United States, and then cancel out the country that was there so that it's only United States selected. Now scroll down And the age, this is really relative to your product. For example, if you're selling a product to older people, of course you want to put the age as, let's say, 30 to 35. But if you're selling a general product like a summer product, you can just leave it at 18 to 65 plus. I wouldn't recommend you to go under 18 because under 18 people really don't have credit cards, so it will really be a waste of your budget. Even if they were really interested in the product, there's really nothing they can do. Gender, again, is subjective to your product. If you're selling makeup, of course sell that to women, although we're living in some crazy times. Then scroll down, and on advantage, detailed targeting, leave that off. We're going to deal with that when we get to the interest testing campaign. So scroll down, placements, leave advantage plus placements on. And then now let's head to the ad level. So you want to title your ad A again. Scroll down, make sure your Facebook page is selected. You don't need to create an Instagram account. If you really want to, then go for it. But I usually just select use Facebook page. Scroll down on ad setup, make sure it's create ad, and then manual upload under media setup, and format, make sure that's single image or video, and then deselect this box that's multi-advertiser ads. That's simply another way Facebook likes to suck up your budget. Scroll past that, you want to put your website URL in here. After you put the URL, scroll down to add creative, click add media, and then add video. Once this interface loads up, you want to upload your selected ad and put it in here. All my ads are already in here. I'm just going to click on a random one. Click next. Trim, don't trim it. This, don't crop it. And then you want to make sure all of these optimization things are off. So just turn those all off. And then click done. And then after that, you want to come back and edit and add a thumbnail for the ads. I'll select that, there we go. Save, and then do the same thing for the other ads. Once that's all done, scroll down, and then here we have primary text, and primary text is what we know as the ad copy. So my ad copy normally looks something like this. You have a hook, and then you list 3 benefits about the product, and the 4th one is going to include that there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and then include the offer you have. Here I was running a buy 2 get 1 free, and then also include the URL. And then scroll down, and on the headline you want to put your offer in, so buy 2 get 1 free. And by the way, ignore all these AI text generations, they're not going to help you. And in the description, I usually like to put just like a little rating, like rated 4.8 out of 5. Call to action should always be shop now. It's just logical. Shop now. Scroll down, keep scrolling, and then here is gonna be destination website. Now your URL is gonna be there, but what you want to do is click on build a URL parameter. For campaign medium, you want to select ad.name. For campaign name, you want to select campaign.name, and for campaign content, you want to select adset.name, and then click apply. Once that's done, scroll down over here and make sure this is on none. And after that, everything should be good for the first ad set. Next, come through, click these 3 dots up here, and then duplicate. And then make sure it's set to original campaign so that it doesn't duplicate it in a new campaign. And then number of copies, set that as 4, because remember, we want 5 ad sets. So once it's duplicated them, come back through and change all of them to be as such. Ad B, make this ad B2, and so on. And the last one, ad E. Now we want to double back and change the ad. That is the only thing that's going to be different between all of these ads. We want as little variables as possible so that we know that if one ad set performs better than the other one, it is because the video ad was performing better, not because of a different ad copy, headline, and all these factors play a part into the performance of your creative. And that's what dropshipping really is. It's just testing. You know nothing. You have to test it in order to know it. You don't know anything, the data knows. Data is king and content is queen. So I'm going to scroll down here and then delete this video, and then you go and add video and then select what would be your ad B. So, you know, a different ad. Same things as last time. Don't crop, don't trim, turn all of these off, and then done. And you want to do that for every single other ad. Now, before we publish this, you want to make sure to turn it off, because we want to launch our ads at midnight Chicago time. So just Google what time that is and make sure you don't miss it, because we want to give that a full day of running. Just come through and turn all of this off now, just so that once the ads are done with the review, they don't turn themselves on automatically, because the reviews will finish at different times. One ad may finish review at 2 a.m, one at 3 a.m, and so on. And those will give you significantly different results, because the ads are not running at the same time, which is another variable that we want to eliminate. And then after the campaign is off, you can click on publish, and once you click publish, your ads will go into review. And if your ad does not pass the review by Facebook, try editing out, a little section of it until it passes. And if that doesn't work, then you just have to make an entirely new ad to replace the one that didn't pass the review. Now, as I said, we will not be spending the full $100 on the creative testing campaign. $20 a day budget for 5 ad sets is $100 in a day if you haven't caught up yet. So if you have a product which you're selling at a sell price of less than $50, and by that I mean sell price plus the shipping price, like the total cost that the customer will have to pay before they can purchase from your store. If it is less than $50, then let your ad sets spend $8 each and then turn them all off. And if it is over $50, let all your ad sets spend $12 each. They're all going to reach that amount at different times, so you have to be constantly checking the ad manager. For an example, let's look at the actual BreezeRing creative testing campaign. So let me discard that. As you can see, all of the ad sets stopped as soon as they spent $8, because I turned them off myself. This one spent a little bit over, and that was an error on my end for not constantly checking the ad manager. Now, once you stop running all the ads, first you want to check for sales, and then initiated checkouts, and then add to carts. So for example, let's say you ran those 5 ads, and then one got 3 sales, one got 2 sales, etc. You want to pick the one with 3 sales as your winning ad. The same goes for if one had 0 sales, all had 0 sales, one had 3 initiated checkouts, and another one only had like 1. You want to pick the one with 3 initiated checkouts as the winner, and so on and so forth. And if none of them have either a purchase, initiated checkout, or add to cart, then look for a CTR over 2.5%, and then from there pick the one with the highest click-through rate. And then we'll take that winning ad and move it into a cold interest testing campaign. A cold interest testing campaign is a CBO in which we test new interests, hence why we refer to them as cold. And we do this in order to find the most profitable audience in order to run our winning ad toward. A CBO stands for Campaign Budget Optimization. A CBO is a campaign where we let Facebook decide how to distribute our budget across different ad sets. And each ad set will have one interest in it. And make sure you choose interests that have relevance to the product. So don't sell a winter product and then put an interest as summertime. That just doesn't make any sense. Instead, put something like winter, warming, quality of life, etc. And each interest must have an audience size of over 50 million. So to create the CBO, click on create, sales again, continue, manual, continue. Again, name it the name of your product followed by cold interest testing campaign, BreezeRing cold interest testing USA. Scroll down, leave all of this blank except for advantage campaign budget, which is what will turn this into a CBO. So turn that on and then set the budget at $50 a day. Now leave that and move on to next. Scroll down, same as before, website, same pixel, conversion event purchase. Scroll down, and on advantage detailed targeting is where we'll put in our interests. So for example, let's search for summer, because this is a summer product, summertime. And just like that, we've selected an interest for this ad set, and when you hover over it, you'll see the audience size, which is 108 million to 127 million. And then you want to copy the interest name and then paste it as the name of the ad set. And then now scroll back down here, give the ad whatever name you want. Let's assume ad B was our winning ad, name it ad B, and then scroll down, and where it says create ad, change that to use existing post. uncheck multi-advertiser ads again. Now down here on add creative, you want to click on enter post ID. And now I'm going to show you guys how to get the post ID. So let's go to the Real Breeze and Creative Testing campaign, which I actually run. And then let's select ad B, go to the ad level, select it again, click on more, click on preview, and then the share button, and then Facebook post with comments. And then you want to come over to the URL and copy the number that's after /posts. And come back here and enter the post ID. Boom! Simple as that. And what we're going to do different in this campaign is to change only the interests. Now before we start duplicating, you want to give each ad set a minimum spend of $5. Scroll down to budget and schedule, and then click on ad set spending limits. Click edit, enable it, and set it as $5. And then once you set that daily minimum, you can now come through and duplicate that ad set 4 times. Now to recap, our CBO is running at $50 a day with 5 ad sets. Now the reason we set a $5 minimum spend on each ad set is so that we force Facebook to spend $25 equally, and then the other half, the other $25, it will spend where it sees best fit. Back to the campaign, once you duplicate the ad set, you want to do the same thing. Look for another relevant interest, put it as the interest for that ad set, as you can see, and then change the name of the ad set to the name of the interest. And once you have your 5 interests, you want to publish that, and then go into review again, and you want to chill out until midnight Chicago time, which is when you're going to launch the cold interest testing campaign. Now these are the rules. If any of these ad sets / interests do not get an add to cart within the first 24 hours, then turn it off. Number 2, you want to let this campaign run for 3 days minimum, and after around 3 to 5 days, turn off the campaign if it is unprofitable. Now at that stage, you can either decide to test new ads for that product or move on to a new product. If you guys learned something valuable from this video, please let me know down in the comments below, and drop a sub on the road to hitting 1,000 subscribers. And if you'd like to have one-on-one mentorship from me and Cedric, then DM me on Instagram at ecom_nate2pig. And until next time, stay hard, keep grinding, and don't give up.